here on Twitch and Lee Chess. I'm International Master William, Bill Paschall. You can call me any of the above. Also go by Sparkle Horse on Lee Chess. Slaggy on Twitch. We are ready to start. We're going to be playing Blitz and Classical Chess. I'm accepting challenges from subscribers as well as other viewers to the stream. You can challenge me on Lee Chess to any kind of time control between 5 plus 3 seconds and 8 plus 3 seconds. Blitz and or quote-unquote classical chess. Clash Kid says, good evening, guys. A lot of my followers are from Europe, even though I'm in the United States right now for July and August. Mostly I'm based in Budapest. So for the most part of the year, my stream is actually morning European time. And that is rough for the American players who watch. So they get to enjoy here in July and August. We're going to be taking any kind of subscribers first. At the moment, that means Blue Crow. If any other of the subscribers to Twitch want to play, you get to go to the front of the line. I already have another one. Divyatarava. What is his name again? No, I forgot. Anyway, guys, please support the stream by becoming a subscriber on Twitch. If you can't do that, even better, you can support me by sending me a donation on PayPal. This is what a lot of people have done. I really appreciate it. American Indian Shaman. I saw your games on YouTube. It's an honor to watch your master perform. Can I challenge you? As I read from your videos, you accept only people 50 games. I made a start, though. Completed 5 games. Awesome, man. Yeah, well, it won't take long to play 50 games. So by Wednesday, you'll be ready to go. Our next stream, Wildfire. Thank you. Our next stream, Wildfires are also challenging me. We'll be playing, let's see, again, Blitz and Classical Chess today. 3 subscribers. Let's get started with these guys. Blue Crow. If 1 or 2 people want to play Chess 960, I also play Chess 960. The other variations or variants of chess I don't really find to be particularly constructive. Is it possible to request my game be played after the Vyatrava game? Soltigo, you're going to be playing after him because he's a subscriber. Anyway. Okay, so wow, Blue Crow played G4. Awesome, man. But this is not normal chess. Well, anyway, I'd really like to play a knight to G6, knight H4. That's what I would normally do anyway. And here we have this bad knight, which actually controls the H4 square. It's on the corner. But, you know, Blue Crow is kind of has a method behind his madness. He's improving his queen with G4. And also when he plays knight to G3, he's going to have that knight behind the pawn. In order to coordinate pieces and pawns in closed positions, it's often best that the pieces are placed behind the pawns. The pawns kind of act as a shield, a sort of exoskeleton. And this is typical of some openings like closed Sicilian English opening. Brundle Philly says, American Indian Shaman, feel free to kick back and watch the stream. Thanks for subscribing, Divil. So Wildfire in Bosnian, I guess. Knight on H to G3. Okay, so that knight has a massive outpost on F5. I've also shut in my queen. That's going to be an issue. I wasn't really thinking about my queen here. F6 will probably be necessary then. I'm a little worried about his knight getting to F5. If I play E5, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, I don't like that knight there. I have dual problems. Like my queen is shut in, and he has knight F5. So, yeah. I'm not real happy about the situation overall. I could play E5. Just let him. I'm just going to let him, you know, have the knight F5. I mean, I'm just thinking, okay, I can probably play knight E6 and guard the G7 pawn with that guy. So the knight on F5 won't hurt me so bad. But generally pieces that are established on your side of the board, on squares where they can't be chased away by pawns, that's a very serious problem. So, alright, bishop coming to life on B1. This is chess 960, guys. If you don't know chess 960, it's a version of chess where the pieces are mixed up on the back rank. I think Bobby Fischer wanted to create this game, you know, have it named after him. They call it Fischer Random. But I think that truly Fischer Random was like Fischer intended that you... I'm not sure if he intended that you set up each side like how they wanted. That's interesting too. I mean, you know, the idea that each side could set up the pieces however they wanted. And start with the pieces actually set up differently than the other player. You know, I wonder if that... Is that something that's been explored? So we've got... Yeah, we've got a lot of regulars here. Move 11 played a good game in the Simul yesterday. What's that? Chess 10 o'clock. Well, what does that mean, chess 10 o'clock? I'm going to play f6. Why am I playing this move? It supports my central pawn. I guess we can play like queen f7, get that piece in the game, but I'm not sure f6 was really necessary. That was a bit of a weird move. I just want my queen to breathe a little bit more. Intuitive, almost a completely intuitive move. Now, the knight is a problem, but I don't have to deal with it right away. Maybe I can let it sit a little bit, and trading it off with 97 though is something to consider before it does any damage. If the opponent has a piece posted on your side of the board, it's probably worthwhile to challenge it. Sometimes you don't want to trade pieces if you have a space advantage. Of course, if you have a space advantage, usually the other guy doesn't have a piece outposted on your side of the board. Clash Kid, I don't think it's buggy. It's just that you do the same thing that I do, in that you're trying to castle like it was a normal blitz game. You have to actually click. You have to actually click on the rook, not on the normal castling square. I did that a lot. I don't really like that functionality of this here. You're castling with the rook, so why not, you know, just, why should it matter? Traditional castling, clicking on the square. Okay, bishop c2. I don't have to take the knight right away. I was thinking about taking it. If I take on d4, he's protected. Where's he going? Bishop c2. This looks like a very slow move, bishop c2. What are you going to do? Like put the bishop on b3? Now I have a very strong center. One of our regular viewers, this guy, Arsenal fan, Richie, whenever he plays chess 960, he would always establish a strong center. You see the value of it very much in chess 960, I think. You're able to see the value. Actually, Troll plays this a lot here in chess 960, and he also often, I would say, plays very classically, establishing a strong center. So it looks good to go here. Basically, my king is the only issue, but as is the case typically in chess 960, it seems to me that I'm not going to be casting kingside here. It seems to me, I don't really know where to put this, that it develops much more slowly than normal chess. I was thinking about b6, but we might need this guy, so we're just going to develop quietly here. I think the position is about equal. I have two pawns in the center with d5 and e5, but other than that, it looks pretty stable. But it's a very closed kind of game. I don't like the chess 960 as much as normal chess. In normal chess, it seems like the game opens up more quickly. Soltigos, he can skip both of us. Soltigo asked if he can play next. I don't think that's what he was saying. Yeah, but I'm not sure. Is Fischer Random and chess 960 the same thing? Or did Fischer's original idea, was Fischer's original idea slightly different? That's what I was asking earlier. Did Fischer want both sides to be... See, I'm not an expert. I'm good at chess, but I don't know everything about chess history. Did Fischer really intend on... Dude, is that pawn just hanging? I mean, are you just bluffing me here? Looks like a bluff, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. I'm just gonna take that. It's breaking up my center, I admit, you know, but now bishop c3. He gets pieces, squares for his pieces, pieces for his squares. All right, we're castled. I'm thinking knight c5, man, and I'm coming into d3. We're happy. We're happy here. I think we're better. We've got the queen. The queen is actually working sort of discreetly behind the scenes. I thought he was going to play f4, but that would have... Actually, f4 could have been played previous move, with the idea of this kind of cheapo bishop f6 skewering my rooks. Skewering. So we're coming in there on d3 at some point, but the question is when. Bishop e6. Bishop e6 or not. Is the bishop just going to be more of a target there? I can play knight d3, but it loses a pawn back. Okay, he's got some compensation based on the pawns being broken up. I mean, that's basically his idea. He has 2 pawn islands. We have 3 pawn islands. This isolated pawn, it is a powerful pawn. This is also a powerful pawn on c4. So I've got a doubled pawn, but it's relatively powerful. An isolated pawn that's definitely powerful. He has some structural compensation for the sacrificed pawn. I was thinking rook takes rook, queen takes rook. And that's awkward. Why didn't he play that the move before, actually? Very awkward for me. I have bishop b6 though. It should be idea queen g1. He didn't see it before. I definitely saw it before, like quite a while before, but now we've got issues. I just made it worse for myself. That's not good. I'm just like losing the exchange? Really? Why didn't I just play b6? Hey guys, we're gonna lose some material here. c3. So I'm just losing the material, just losing an exchange. It's a total disaster. And I don't have any compensation for it. Do I have like d2 or knight d2 check? Nice fantasy. Okay, I probably busted here. I have a pawn for the exchange, but my structure is really bad. Doesn't even feel like I have a pawn for the exchange. What about c3 now? Seems unnecessary. Alright guys, we have pawn for the exchange. Kind of crappy pawn for the exchange. So I would say I'm pretty close to lost. Pretty close to lost. Good way of putting it. Pretty much sums it up. Having a bad time of it lately. Yesterday's Simul was really rough. I mean, should I try to grab this pawn and create some complications? Ooh, I don't know. What else can I do? I mean, cutting off his bishop from his rook. Trying to induce like e4 that will weaken his structure. worsen his structure, I should say. F4. Wow, I did not expect this move. Man. Not what I wanted to see. Okay. Limited amount of time. What is going on? We have 2 pawns for the exchange if you're a big believer in material. Our king is actually feeling like it's safe enough. Feels safe. I don't know what's best. King c7, is that crazy? Is it my imagination? I'm running out of time. Seems a little crazy to put my king here. Whoa. Now we've got something. I've actually got something, it appears. Don't play too fast, Blue Crow. We're getting coordinated. We're stuttering and we're getting coordinated. Come on. Got some chances here. C3 is in the house. Oh, queen there. All right. Mate in 1. Oh man, meltdown. Yesterday I blundered mate in 1 against Clash Kid. That was embarrassing. The nice thing about when you do it in a simul though, you just don't have to see it, you know. It's like painless. Diblia Tavra. Wildfire, as he's known. Alright. Guys, please subscribe to the stream. For just $5 a month, get a lot of entertainment. You can support the channel. And now, okay, very solid setup G3. I don't really have much other than playing Bishop B4 check against this, because I don't like to go into the Catalan. And now, yes. A few months ago in the springtime, I had a game in the Hungarian Team Championship against Attila Turzo, where he played this variation. I played D5. I regret it. I regret playing D5 against Turzo. I suffered. I almost lost. My team was like gonna end up not surviving relegation anyway, but I'm just not used to playing the structures with D5. It's basically a Catalan, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Colin Clark says you were completely busted. I don't know, man. He was up the exchange earlier for basically nothing. Let's see. Now what am I supposed to do? D6. D6 is sort of dangerous because my bishop gets trapped. It's actually... It's like a Bogo Indian, but I've played a kind of weird move order. Although D6, if his bishop moves, I could play A4. It's pretty strange. It's probably not good. I think we have to just go ahead and exchange here. Soltigo says no income right now. I know the feeling. For those of you that can't afford to subscribe, man, it's completely okay. We support our regular viewers and enjoy your just contributing to the stream and making a good atmosphere here. So, those of you that can subscribe, do so. If you cannot, it's okay. We will survive. It's kind of a passive position for black. I usually reserve the Bogo Indian to play against stronger players. I like to play the King's Indian against players that I really want to beat. But if I play like my level players or almost my level players or higher rated players, I like to play some sort of solid defenses sometimes, rather than having to play the King's Indian every single game. Here white played this move, which, you know, this allows the pawn structure to be fixed, and in a lot of cases, I mean, I've played this type of position with white too. In a lot of cases, white ends up with a lot of pawns, the central pawns basically fixed on white squares, and his bishop on g2. It's kind of a passive piece, so I honestly don't really enjoy playing these type of positions with white myself. I used to play them, but I kind of gave it up. Now he took on e5, and I think I'm going to take with the pawn here, because there's some potential down the line I could get a knight on d4. I mean, knight takes is definitely okay. Knight takes e5. But I think this is a little more fundamental. You know, we're keeping our strong point in the center. If I played knight takes, he might have something tricky like knight to d4. And we don't have a strong pawn on e5 anymore. So, another piece of advice, if you're playing a lower rated player that you're expected to beat, basically, mostly you know this, but probably it's best to try to avoid exchanging pieces. Foucroux shouldn't have traded his dark squared bishop, I think. That was the beginning of giving me a lot of counter chances. He traded his dark squared bishop, and I think after that I had some hope, you know. And then he really let me get it going with these powerful pawns and stuff, and at the point where he blundered, it was really unclear who was better. I think it got to the point where I'm not sure that, you know, being up the exchange was very relevant anymore. Queen c1, what is that about? He's trying to play c5? Like he wants to play c5 or something. I can't imagine another purpose for this move. I mean, c5 probably just loses a pawn, so I don't recommend it. Man, this is a weird move. It could be a mouse slip. I've been known to give takebacks. Okay, rook d1. I would call this like fancy play syndrome. In poker, you know, in poker terminology, fancy play syndrome. Queen c1, rook d1. He's seen this maneuver in some, you know, famous game, and he just decided he's going to do that here. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on it, but I don't know, you know. Queen c2, so then he had to move it again. That's a serious issue. He had to move it again. We're going to jump on the file. Play very fundamentally. I don't like his exchange. I didn't even mention this guys, but I mean, this exchange on e5 was a bad move by Wildfire, because he's trading a central pawn on the 4th rank for a central pawn on the third, you know, on the 3rd rank, and he's also just leaving, you know, getting rid of a strong pawn he had on d4. He had 3 pawns in the center. Now he has just 2. There's also a hole at d4, which he cannot control with a pawn. He cannot play like c3. All right, now what are you doing, man? Queen b3. What's up? You want to grab my pawn there? Not a big deal. He kind of bothered me with some weird moves like queen b5. So it would probably be in my best interest to be a little bit careful here. Knight d4 is tempting, but doesn't do anything. he just plays like knight d4, knight takes d4. Wait, it's complicated. Knight d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes d1, knight f5. Yeah, that's bishop takes b3, knight takes e7, king f8, takes b3. I guess it's like too much to calculate here. I mean, I could just play queen b4, but I don't really want to trade queens. b6 allows queen b5, which is sort of irritating. So I wish I could trap his queen somehow, but my knight is going to get attacked. There's knight b4 here. Knight b4. That's pretty cool. The knight b4 idea, it has some merits. But I think it's a little too fancy as well. I just need time to calculate here. I can just intuitively feel that this position is really good for black. Man, I just wish I could let him take on b7 and trap his queen. It's really close to working. Just not quite. a4, queen takes b7. It just doesn't quite work. Knight a5. Yeah, queen b5 gets away. Wasting too much time here. I mean, God knows I could play like b6, queen b5, queen c5. That's not great. b6, queen b5. The problem with queen b5 is that he's going to be hitting my e5 pawn. Maybe that doesn't matter a whole lot. Alright. I don't know. His queen is, if he decides to play this, I mean, his queen is in a really awkward position. I'm going to go with this move finally. We've got a lot of options. I mean, queen b5, I could even play bishop d7. It's one of many good moves. So I'm really just looking for a good ending, maybe with a knight on d4. For example, two knights versus bishop and knight, where I have really rock solid control of the dark squares. An outpost on d4. Yellow Dragoon, you lost to a GM. I've been doing a lot of that lately. This past year. My last like 10 games against GMs have been pretty dismal. A few draws and quite a few losses. Bishop takes f3. Well, I don't really want to simplify, you know, unless I have a good reason to do so. We're in good shape here, but knight d4 doesn't work. I have knight d7 now. That looks like a good move. But it does take some pressure off his center. He's got that queen b5 move again. It might even be worse after knight d7. Actually, knight d7 would actually protect my e5 pawn, overprotect it. I mean, this is kind of a standard maneuver in this kind of structure, like boing, 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 boing. So basically having my way with him here. After knight c5, I think white is in a really awkward situation. He played a little bit too unambitiously, and now king h1 even could cost him because f2 is weak. I think he's just losing outright. Yeah, this wins in exchange at least. Knight d3. I hope it does. I mean, he got queen trade, knight takes e7, and then what? Yeah, he's got nothing actually. This is perfect. Just keeping everything protected. This is hit. This is hit. e5 is protected. White played too passively, but his main mistake is like giving up the d4 square. That left him in a kind of lifeless position where he, you know, he obviously played badly consequently because he just probably didn't like his position. So he's just losing in exchange here. Is there any advantage in a different order? Taking on f3 or something. Keep it simple. Should we keep it simple? Maybe I should play c5 and stop him. This is just hanging. Never mind. I don't think that mattered a whole lot, actually. So I'm kind of... let's just play this, protect this pawn. Maybe preserve our bishop ultimately. Rook d1 is kind of weird. I could maybe pin him. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3, rook d4. He can always protect with his king. Then I double up. Pin him to the knight permanently. You can actually play knight takes, bishop takes b5, knight a7. Okay, so now he's tied down to that knight. I don't like my knight on a7. So we have another choice here. It's not the end of the world. Just temporary, I guess. As long as he can't move his rook. Knight b5. This is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me, as they say. Just paralyzed. We can go here, like pinning him from the other side and then stopping the pawn too. Let's throw in a check to be on the accurate side. Alright, it's over finally. Like, the technical part is clear. Guys, we had a simul last night. Every Sunday I do a simul on Lichess. Yesterday at 5 p.m. It was pretty hairy. We lost to Clash Kid, move 11. It's funny how you guys... Oh, Soltigo had a crazy game. Soltigo, I think that was the most fun game. But it was just riddled with mistakes by both of us. So who's next? Clash Kid. And then Clash Kid, any other subscribers? I think Okano showed up. Oh, Brundle, you blundered the mate in one. What was the situation in that game? You were much worse, or you think you were doing all right? I'm gonna play e5 against Clash Kid. I think he played something pretty insipid last time. I tried to play the Petrov against him, and he played... Okay, he plays knight c3, and then bishop b4. He played very quietly d3. Yeah, this was what we did last time. Let's see if he if he goes into the same thing. I mean, if White's gonna play d3, I'll play the Petrov all day. I actually lost this game against him, but I mean, I think that Black just has an equal game, like right off the bat. So, you know, I wouldn't bother to play the Sicilian if I can get an equal game pretty easily here. You can also take with a knight in this position. You know, I wonder. It's better to take with a knight. This way is it feels a little bit simpler. I had a game where somebody played like bishop g5 against me, I think, not that long ago. This is not exactly a typical variation. Grandmaster Vita Levente played d3 against me when surprised by me playing the Petrov. He probably suspected like I prepared something and in the lines that he plays against the Petrov. And since I almost never played the Petrov, he figured, oh well. And he ended up beating me anyway. This was like 10 years ago. I've only played the Petrov maybe on like 2 occasions against GMs, and not too many games outside of that actually. But it's just something that's interesting to kind of consider as a solid option for black. So now bishop g4. Or knight c6. I suppose it's better to play knight c6. Knights before bishops, they say. It's like a Steinitz-Lopez reversed. It's different from my previous game with Clash Kid, because against him last time, I think I just played like... I did something like bishop takes c3 right away, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. He didn't have time to play bishop d2. He ended up taking back with the pawn on c3, I believe. So now I played g3, making me wonder if I made a mistake here. Huh. Did I make a mistake? Is e4 a good move? Is e4 a good move? Or should I play bishop g4, bishop g2, e4? Bishop g4, bishop g2, e4. Pawn takes pawn. And that gets pretty bizarre. Like, queen takes e4 check. I wonder about this. e4 right away. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes e4 check. Queen e2, trading queens. Who is that even like favorable for? It feels like I might be helping him. This g3 though could change this position to being a very like dynamic one for white. Putting his bishop on the long diagonal is not something like I really wanted to see here. We could try bishop g4, bishop g2, knight d4, bishop takes d4, pawn takes d4. But that looks like white is slightly better at the end of the day too. Maybe not. Pawn looks pretty weak there on d4. Tough one. I feel like e4 could even take on f6 there. Okay, bishop g4, bishop g2, e4. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes. He could play king f1 if he wants to be really adventurous. Alright, let's try this. It's unclear. Yellow Dragon, I'm at the bottom of the list. Will I make it? Probably not. You're not at the bottom of the list, though. You're near the bottom of the list. Yeah, you're probably not going to make it. I mean, I would say if you got something you got to do and you can't watch, you don't want to hang out for 2 hours, probably you're not going to make it. We've got bishop g2, e4 was my plan. Now, if I just sit on this position, he's going to play h3 and g4, and he's going to play h3 and g4, and he's going to turn the corner on this pin and do something bad to me. So, I mean, I guess we could play something strategic like queen d6, and then h3, g4, bishop g6. Probably this is what I should do. I mean, the e4, I'm thinking I'm just opening this position for his bishops at the end of the day. I mean, e4, pawn takes pawn, queen takes check, queen e2, queen takes queen, king takes queen, like castles queen side. But I'm pretty active. I mean, there is that. There's also e4, queen e2. This just occurred to me. Is that going to be a problem? e4, queen e2, castles. Pawn takes pawn. Either way I castle. Then like knight takes. So I probably want to be like castled king side there. That's interesting. Let's try it. Damn, I'm really down on time. This kind of feels like critical. So if he plays queen e2, we castle kingside. If he plays takes, we take with the queen, and then he can choose between queen e2 or king f1. You know, probably the safer option is queen e2. And here I was just thinking, okay, first of all, I could just castle, let him take, and then where would his bishop go, actually? It's pretty funkadelic. You know, if he takes, I play knight takes, his bishop has nowhere to go. That's pretty cool. If I castle kingside, bishop takes f6, and then I'm thinking craziness, right? Like moving my queen somewhere? Okay, that's just totally bogus. I've got to do this. Right, and then castle kingside. Now maybe here I should castle queenside now. Although I'm not threatening knight e4 in that case. Or am I? Yeah, I guess we have to be dynamic here. I mean, with his king on e2, and bring our rook to the center. Bishop takes f6 is nice, but we're looking pretty dynamic in that ending. His king chilling in the middle. Okay, knight d4 check now. Should well, that should at least equalize. Do we have anything better? Well, rook e8 check, king f1. It doesn't look too inspiring, actually. So I feel like I should actually say actually less, but I should actually, you know, be happy to equalize here. I think there's this freaky beetle crawling on me. Okay, man. This looks like an equal position. He might be able to get to an ending with, like, well, I was going to say rook against, yeah, rook against knight. Is it a problem? What should I play? The thing is, like, the knight g5 type of stuff, I don't really want to see that. So probably a draw. Black has to tread carefully. Yeah, that's what you get when you play the Petrov against a low-rated opponent, though. It's not easy being black. Here, I don't know. Should I trade rooks or not? Actually, rook and bishop are kind of supposed to be a good combination. I'm happy for the draw, man. I mean, you're slightly better here. This bishop, Bobby Fischer endgame. I mean, I don't know. I could be in trouble in this ending. This is like, if you're playing a lower rated opponent, don't give them a draw here, because you are a little bit better. I definitely think it's okay to give a high rated opponent a draw, but I guess objectively it's probably drawn, but not easy draw for black. Black has to work a lot here. All right. Not that white couldn't go wrong. Good game. So anybody else? So Bob is here. Okano. Any other new subscribers we've got? Yeah, I want to check that game. I should have stopped. I should have stopped, and maybe after this one we can take a look at both, just the opening, to see if it was actually a theory. I'm curious if that is like a known variation, what we did there. The G3 move seemed like a really nice way of playing, like a Steinitz reversed with a nice incisive. Here, this is a Queen's Gambit accepted. It's reversed. Okay, you know, just like not even like, he's not even hesitating. Like, it's just an opening he plays every day. He played knight c6. This is a very aggressive move. I can't say I'm real thrilled to see that. You know, I'm hoping to see something kind of quiet. You know, he's black in a Queen's Gambit accepted, and he's playing kind of like Korchnoi style. I don't like the Queen's Gambit accepted. I don't like it so much I'm playing it, you know? Um, I don't like playing against it. Rubinstein. Highly recommend it if you like classic games and closed queen pawn games. Study the games of Akiba Rubinstein. Okay, knight f6, and we're going to transpose to a, well, this is actually kind of hybrid variation now. Some kind of Queen's Gambit accepted reversed. G6. He's sort of making stuff up here. He's playing G6 now. That looks weird. Not ridiculous, but kind of weird. He's just down a pawn. I mean, in my book, I think he's just down a pawn flat out without really any kind of compensation for it. Setting up a fianchetto. But I mean, you know, if you were white, it's one thing. But when you're black, you have like less flexibility in what you can do. Grabbing a pawn and holding on to it is a pretty realistic thing here for white. Now, yeah, I've just developed my pieces. I mean, bishop e2 is fine, knight d2 is fine. I hope he doesn't have some kind of d4. Shouldn't really work. I could just take with the pawn. It's basically like a Botvinnik variation with colors reversed. I'm not sure what like bishop g4 really realistically does. Maybe I should consider even playing c4, but it's a little bit early. If I can play c4, I'm basically just a clear pawn up. Bishop takes f3. It's a blitz game. I don't like bishop takes f3. It's trading pieces. You're down a pawn. He has one factor kind of in his favor. I guess like trying to play like knight e4 and control the c3 square. I mean, I think with this move he's also trying to control the e5 square, obviously. Knight takes, I mean, everything's good. It's all good. We just play like knight takes, bishop takes g7. If he plays knight c3, I'll just put my queen somewhere. Okay, now if you want to play e5, I have b5. And that's going to be kind of weird, isn't it? So I don't think he can even play e5. I mean, without allowing b5. I mean, for that matter, I could play like bishop b5, which would just, that would be embarrassing for black. So I think he played a very ambitious setup, letting me hold on to the pawn. Actually, bishop b5 doesn't really test him. He could just play e4 with a playable position. So I guess I have to just go b5 here. The structure could get a little weird. Maybe I just messed up. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have let him do this. No, on the other hand, no. I mean, this is... I'm just pawns up after e4, pawn takes f3, bishop takes f3, pawn takes c6, maybe c4. That looks pretty dangerous, actually, c4. Trading off my... You gotta play e4 here, man. The question mark is just, it just means like you have a provisional rating. It's not a shame or anything. Lichess is not shaming you. Get it? Shaman? Shaming? Pretty funny, huh? Alright, we go with a c4. We'll try to break out the tripled pawns. He cannot take. What's the pawn count? We are up a pawn. We're still up our pawn. And it looks like a healthy one. I'm sure I made some inaccuracies here, but we've got to move a little bit fast. It's 5 plus 3. Try to keep it simple. If pawn takes pawn, bishop takes c6, I win the exchange. Now I'm just assuming that's good for me. But who knows, maybe it has some kind of powerful passed pawn. It's not going anywhere, actually. So I think that Alcano, when he faces this, you know, Queen's Gambit accepted reversed, most people play like e6, try to get the pawn back, maybe knight f6, but he goes like super aggressive with knight c6, and you know, he's doing nothing about recouping that pawn. That's something you can do when you're white, but when you're black in a reversed opening, I think this is not a move I'm happy to see. But anyway, okay, I guess we just play like bishop d4, not the most constructive move in the world, but it's secure. We've got a lot of options. I mean, queen a4, he's got these weak pawns. At the end of the day, it looks like I'm just winning. Everything's under control. We're up a pawn on the king side. We might even go up a pawn on the queen side after something like pawn takes pawn, queen a4. The entire structure is like falling. a7, c6, c4. And white's pawns are hard to attack. Clash Kid, take care, man. Flukro said, what, we agreed on nothing? Brony-like. Little Pingwing, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. If you make a sub-only stream, will you watch a game I played? Absolutely. We should start a sub-only stream next week. I think it's a good idea. Maybe next Tuesday. The problem is that we'll have to alternate it. Like, I mean, okay, I'm only going to be doing this schedule for a few more weeks, but let's see here. Just take on e4. Is knight c3 a problem? Not really. We agreed on nothing brony-like. Yeah, we don't want to call the subscribers bronies. I did not intend on any significance between Sparkle Horse and My Little Pony. That was a very cute idea, Plukro. And I'm sure you have a great career awaiting you in, you know, retail marketing. But I think we're gonna steer away from that. Queen takes d4, pawn takes d4, securing the structure. The queen takes d4. This could get a little weird. We're still up our pawn. I'm happy to see that, actually. I was actually for some reason something about queen takes bothered me. I mean, I'm up a pawn in any case, but the a rook will protect the c pawn. We go with the other guy to hit that d pawn. This move first, for some reason. I figure we're going to keep the c pawn at all costs, even if I have to drop my a pawn. We'll keep the c pawn as like a offensive weapon and powerful passer. Go for the d pawn. Rook a c1. If he goes rook a, let's see, he can't attack f2. Queen h4. Queen h4, bishop takes e4. I can just take it. So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking of doing a stream once a week just for subscribers. I mean, it's not like only subscribers can watch, but it'll be, maybe I'll make it like so only subscribers can chat, and we'll just, you know, focus on whatever the subscribers want to do. We can have a theme as well. Oh, dude, that's an irritating move. All right, I need to make some kind of luft. c6 with the passed pawn, but he's going to surround that pawn. What about rook c2 followed by like rook c1? Is this a silly move? Guarding my 7th rank. I mean, I have to watch the back rank here. But do we have time for this? Rook c8, rook c1. f5 looks... I don't know, man. f5 is actually weakening the black king. Yeah, now I can play c6 probably. I'm having trouble breaking through. We're going to need a second front. It looks like Alcano is quite the defender. he's comfortable defending inferior position. A lot of people just sort of melt down, but he seems like he's taking this pretty seriously. Not everyone enjoys defending. You know, I kind of enjoy it in some sense. Just wondering what I can do here to increase the pressure. H5, King G2. He's actually surrounded that pawn pretty well. And then trading queens. I don't think I want to trade queens right now. But I was thinking H5. Go H5, G5. The B file. It's amazing how difficult it is to break through here. Bishop takes E4. What if we do that? What if we get an H5? H5, G5, G4? H5, G5, G4. Ironically, my king is actually pretty safe. I think now it's shift to attacking his king time. Rook on the 7th. We have bishop takes e4. Might as well do that. That knight's worth at least my bishop at this point. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that. You're going to take a walk. He's taking a walk. And it's hard to... Oh man, it's hard to see exactly how I'm going to finish him off here. Admittedly, this is kind of irritating. Though we should be winning in any case. Good defense, man. Seems like he's gaining time. He's actually gaining time. My rook is almost trapped. I finally won something. Congratulations, me. We have mate. Okay, no, finally melted down. All right, man. So, like, if you look at the opening, I think you're not going to find too many games where black played knight c6 here. This is pretty uncommon. Yeah, e6 is recommended, or knight f6. Although for some reason knight f6 isn't very common. It's going to transpose to e6. So I think it doesn't really matter. The score is better for e6 or knight f6. And knight c6 I think is asking too much of black's position. It looks like after that, white's just better. In our previous game, I just wanted to mention the opening against Clash Kid, who actually left. Just out of curiosity, I wanted to see the opening of this game. We both played pretty flawlessly there. Has this ever been played before? I've got to stop playing this move, bishop b4, and get something real against the two knights, or three knights, but nobody plays like the challenging move, like knight takes e5. I don't know why. I mean, that's the critical move. So d3, d5, e takes d5, and now for some reason I'm not. So for some reason I'm not getting any love with queen takes d5, but that's won both games where people have played it. We're in good company. Morovich, me. I totally forgot about my game with Zoli Varga. Okay, this was a draw. Let's see. So, where do we go here? Bishop d2. Morovich Fernandez against Todorcevich. Smades lost to some guy. named Atle Grun. And black hasn't lost a game. So where are we here, theoretically? Knight c6. Oh, this is a new move. This is actually pretty cool. I sort of liked his move, g3. Everyone else, Todorcevich, Varga, they played bishop e2. But what's wrong with g3? Bueno Abalo actually played a game of this. Bishop g4 best, according to the computer. So, I mean, this is actually like a novelty in master chess. I mean, g3, it seems like a more dynamic move if you can do that. And apparently, I played what the computer recommended here, e4. I guess this equalizes. We played the best possible moves. D takes e4, queen takes e4, queen e2. King f1 was interesting there, if you want to take a chance. But I talked about castles here and then rejected it. Why did I reject it? Because the bishop takes f6. I rejected castles because the bishop takes f6. That's weird. I was looking for a move here, but I saw that he had bishop g5. But the thing is, I can play queen g6, and he doesn't have bishop g5 necessarily. I mean, he could play bishop g5 actually. What's going on here? I have this sick move, knight d4. Okay, we'll let Paul Morphy, somewhere from beyond the grave, analyze this contiguously as we continue here to pick up challengers. Anybody else who's a subscriber? Mule Skinner is up. Mule Skinner and Bob. Alright, Mule Skinner. Yeah, okay, no, I mean, I like the fact that you think defensively. A lot of players kind of just collapse when they get a bad position. And you were making it very hard for me to make progress. Okay, Mule Skinner, I'm gonna continue our thematic opening against Mule Skinner. We want to play open positions against this player. He likes closed positions. So the Scandinavian is the place to go. We had a weird opening yesterday against Mule Skinner, where he played a crazy idea. Yesterday I did a simul, and Mule Skinner, he could have sacrificed a piece. I'm sorry, he could have sacrificed my queen for 3 of his pieces. And he chose not to do it, and he was wise. He was wise not to do it. Good job, man. You're solving puzzles and listening in the background. Good idea, man. Multitasking. A6, and this is a variation that was really trendy like 10 years ago, the Queen d6 Scandinavian. Now people are even playing Queen d8. I'll never really understand that move, other than just being something that you could do, like, and get away with. But I mean, Queen d6 is interesting. Tibiakov played it a lot. It's actually become kind of like a main line. Emil Skinner played a4, which you're not going to find a lot of games with a4. It feels like a reactionary move. But it's probably not really bad. He could even play a5 and cramp me in some positions. So now what? Knight c6. We have the b4 square. That's an important asset here, I would say. Very important asset, controlling this square, both for my queen to have a place to go, and actually knight c6 is not really like necessarily the standard way to develop here for black, let's say that, but given a4 has been played, I'm leaning toward this very attractive possibility in some variations, and we can even castle queenside. Little Pingwing, what? Set up PayPal. Yeah, you can donate via PayPal. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but okay, bishop g4 now. I do have to develop my pieces, but bishop f5 is tempting too, with a very primitive idea of knight b4. White obviously could play like knight h4, for example. Por ejemplo. Let's try it. It's something new. It's interesting. It's fun. Let's try to be creative. Everybody plays bishop g4. But it's kind of an empty threat, because if I ever take on f3, he gets this like monster bishop on f3. I'm not really going to win the pawn on d4. Follow and subscribe are two different things. Well, it depends. Are you talking about... Yeah, I'm talking about YouTube channel as well. I have a YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. You can always just subscribe over there if you want to check that out. I put up a new video yesterday just playing some blitz games here on eChess. I have a series where I'm just going to go over some rated blitz games I'm playing. You know, you can see my thought process, then I'll go over the games afterwards. It's a little different than the stream because I'm not talking about any kind of outside stuff. So it's completely just focused on the games. And it's just pure, you know, playing blitz and classical chess with analysis. And here in the stream we talk about other stuff. We get, you know, conversation going. Subscribing gets you the star thingy. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing on the YouTube channel. And, like, just share the video and show your friends who are chess players. Bishop g5, just developing pieces. It looks like White's just developing pieces. It's perfectly reasonable. I can play castle queenside with a lot of pressure on that pawn, man. I mean, this is I'm trying to take this guy out here. It looks like real. Not easy to protect it either. So we're going to go for it. Most commonly, as I said earlier, you see the bishop go out to g4. But bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, this bishop will become a very, very dangerous piece on the f3, b7 diagonal. I'm not playing this opening very often. I haven't played it in really 10 years in a tournament game. And I'm just kind of playing it specifically for Mule Skinner because I know he enjoys open positions. He's just really tough not to crack in closed games, and I have a general philosophy that we should try to put our opponents in positions where they feel uncomfortable. Now, having said all that, if I win this pawn, he's still going to get some kind of compensation. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, when I think he should avoid the trade of queens. At the end of the day, something like queen c1, a la Wildfire. I mean, I could play other moves with knight b4, but knight b4, rook c1 doesn't look so bad for White. He also has knight e5. We could sort of just wait here for a minute, put the threat on hold. I'm kind of liking like e6. It looks a little weird in a sense, but then you got to ask yourself, why not? You know, this isn't going anywhere. I've got to be careful not to fall too far behind development, and especially with opposite side castling, it's a very dynamic situation. So I'm going to just take my time and not grab this pawn right away. It looks dangerous. My sense of danger is sort of tingling. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, queen c1. And I'm a little bit stuck for development there. A pawn up, but okay, maybe a computer could negotiate it. Probably would. But I think we can just be on the safe side here. I mean, hell, maybe he'll play like bishop e3. Soltigo says, this game is crazy. This is nothing compared to you, man. After Sunday, after yesterday's game, Soltigo had the craziest game against me. He made a mistake in the Aximov variation of the 4 pawns attack in the Alekhine's defense. But then I made like a terrible move. And the position was just winning for him for one move. Just totally winning. World Loser, what's up? Yeah, Killer Kaz, you're always too late, man. We've got a huge amount of challengers. since I changed my stream time for July and August. Usually I'm streaming in the morning in Europe, and you know, in the morning it's not that many challenges. I mean, I usually get like 10 challenges maybe, you know, at one time, but since I'm streaming in the afternoon here for July and August, we're getting like tons and tons of challenges. Mostly subscribers and then the other guys are waiting. World Loser, good to see you, man. I know the stream is kind of hard for you since you're probably busy at this time. I may point out that was a bad move or whatever. R. Tucker. Using another program to see what the best move is. Yeah, just don't send us any spoilers. He played d5. An interesting idea. Kind of feeding this pawn to me here. I could play knight b4. Or just take the pawn. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of just taking this pawn. It looks like I want to call it a semi-bluff, you know, poker sense. In poker terminology, White's move is a semi-bluff. Not an entire, not a complete bluff, or is it? A pretty bluffy move, though. I mean, d5. What am I really like afraid of here? You know. Bishop takes f6. I could actually take with the pawn, and then you won't even get this pawn back. He played knight d4. Okay, this is truly that's the true semi-bluff variation. Playing it as a kind of like playing the position as a kind of like pawn sacrifice. But if I get real computer like myself here, maybe just bear down and keep my extra pawn. Super solid moves of some kind. Knight d4, I like this though. He's fighting and he's trying to outstrip me in development. Actually, that queen is really nasty, threatening to go to like b to a7. So I don't think this is actually a bluff, a complete bluff. This is like a partial bluff. I feel a little scared. My queen is a little bit short of squares. Was this even a good move? I'm going to take with the pawn. I mean, actually I can take with the queen too. But I'm a little nervous. You know, he's got really nasty things like knight b5. I have no idea what's happening if he plays knight b5. I'm not going to take that. And I also didn't like taking on d4 because, well, hell, I probably should have done it. I should have taken on d4 and played like queen c5. Retrospect. Hindsight is 20/20. You know, this was probably best. I don't know. I had some weird hallucination where I forgot I had queen c5. Knight takes d4, queen takes c4, queen c5. Okay, he has like bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, queen takes f6, winning his pawn back. But then I would be really comfortable. Now I feel stupid for playing like bishop d7. Although I have knight e5 in this position now. Knight takes d4. Queen takes d4, queen up isn't as good now. Bishop d7 seems like it was a real waste of time. I do have bishop e7. I'm getting scared. I'm outstripped in development at the cost of a pawn. It's a pretty heads-up decision by Muleskinner. Hopefully there's no sacrifices here. Just all of his pieces are working though. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6. And now knight e5. Don't ask me what's going on. What does this move do? Okay. Look at the white pieces. Everybody's in the game for both sides here. I'm up a pawn, but my king is in a kind of crazy spot on c8. I don't see any clear way for white to break through. At the end of the day, he's going to be down a pawn. Horse Skinner. Bishop h4 threatening bishop g3. Now it's time to start thinking a little bit about bailing out. Bailing. Yeah, we can bail out here. How are we going to bail out? Knight takes d4, queen takes d4, queen b4. Forcing a trade of queens. Bishop takes f6, g takes f6. That is like the just perfect bailout move. The perfect bailout plan, basically. Even if I have to give a pawn back, it's not the end of the world. This looks ideal. We give a pawn back, we give a pawn back. That's life. Queen takes queen, bishop takes, rook takes e8. It'll probably be about equal at the end of the day. Oh my god, I didn't see that. Okay. Now we're going to try to not panic. Did I say not panic? I did not see this, obviously. We're going to try to remain calm and negotiate this situation very, very carefully. Please don't let me get mated. What is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Don't panic is the main motif. There's something that Queen c5 didn't have, you know, this possibility. I said I was forcing a trade of queens, but in reality, that was not the case here. Dude, seriously? Queen b8 is mate. Queen c7 is mate. I have bishop d6. Bishop d6 doesn't stop mate. I wish I could just like... Okay, queen h, it does stop mate temporarily, but there's a problem here. There's a really big problem. There isn't a big problem. Oh my god, I have bishop d6. I thought he had knight a2, and I was freaking out. But I have mate on e1. That is so insane. I'm sitting here thinking and thinking and thinking like I'm getting mated by force because of knight a2, and I have no move. And it's like, oh my god, I have rook e1. He gets mated if he plays knight a2. So it looks like we're going to survive. I had it all figured out, guys. It was just, you know, just kind of forgot. It was in there, but it just, you know, intuitively saw everything. There is something to developing all your pieces, but now at least stop and think would be good. He's still got nasty pressure, but I think we're gonna live. Trade everything. Just try to trade everything. Fortunately, that's protected twice. It would have been better to just take on a5, wouldn't it? Probably. Although, you know, he could get a check on e7 or get a rook on e7. Now he has bishop takes d5. So I have to take with the bishop. Is that stupid or what? I see everything. The all-seeing. Bishop g4. Oh no, he's threatening me again. Stop threatening stuff. Okay, there's one check. One very annoying check. Oh, that's hanging. The all-seeing eye. Mule Skinner, man, you really put me to the test there. Nice game. We got too many challenges to analyze. Checking for any other challengers. Bob. Bob is our last subscriber game. Man, that was scary. I was about to give up. I mean, I couldn't realize that I had like rook takes e1 for some reason. Okay, guys, thank you for subscribing. Please, everybody, it's not a big deal. $5 a month. Subscribe to our channel here on Twitch. I mean to say YouTube too, because we have a free, of course, YouTube is free. YouTube channel as well. Good job, man, Mule Skinner. You scared the hell out of me. I thought I was dead. Queen a7, so close. But my extra pawn carried me to victory. If you guys watch the stream on a regular basis, you'll see that I'm, you know, everyone is different stylistically in chess, and I'm not really a materialistic player. I'm kind of, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I'm more like an anti-materialist. I try to be objective, actually, but I don't chase material, you know, extra pieces, pawns. I mean, I like to be up a piece, but some players are very materialistically oriented, but it's just one factor of the game. Okay, Bob, I think you've been too, you know, you've been a little too laissez-faire about this whole situation. Steinitz would just rip you apart. Steinitzian. Actually, if you look at really classic games, like, say, games from 100 years ago or more, 150 years ago, Steinitz, for example, it's like amazing to see when they played games in very modern openings sometimes, how they would approach it. There were games between like Steinitz and Günzburg from like the mid 1800s, and it was funny to see how this classical player dealt with like this. Günzburg played like a hippopotamus, you know, and I always thought like, oh, well, these kind of games, you know, they didn't play back in those days, but the truth is that there were. Now, what do? We try to play d6 and break up his pawn structure, but it's not that big a deal. I was also thinking knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4. I actually don't have a really strong attack against his king, because a lot of pieces get traded off and whatnot. Maybe takes an h4. Then he's coming with the knight f5. This is a very irritating move. So I guess we'll take here and just either play bishop d4 and just have a slight advantage, or bishop d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, castles, bishop d3, with the idea of what? Like attacking him with h4, h5? It looks so limiting. Maybe f4. f4. Doesn't really do much, does it? Okay, there's bishop h6, knight f5. There's d6. It's not so easy to punish black here. He doesn't have a lost position. I think it's slightly better for white. You guys still analyzing the last game? No, Mule Skinner played a really good intuitive pawn sacrifice to kind of take the initiative there. That's what I meant when I said semi-bluffed. I thought he was basically going to get some serious compensation. The question was how much. I don't know, man. Bob. Oh, Bob, what to do here? Man, I don't know. I'm not that excited about my position. I thought I was like winning, but maybe I should have played d6 after all. 95 d6. If he takes an f3, it's not that big a deal though. Mobilize my pieces. This is a big problem. Maybe I should play g4 at some point to stop that knight. Just immobilize that knight. Crazy idea to play g4. A little bit crazy. He could even play h5. Alright. Alright. Now he has bishop takes d4 or d6, but I don't really like d6 too much. Maybe he's in trouble here. I'm not 100% sure. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, castles g4. He decides to play d6. However, I can play f4. d6 is a useful move, mobilizing this piece. We have bishop e5 check. Doesn't do a whole lot. Trading pieces. f4, bishop takes, queen takes. Castles, knight f, knight e4. Alright, let's go for it. I don't know, guys. Can we actually win this by force? Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, castles, knight e4, knight f5, knight f6 check, king g7, knight e8, no, knight h5 check, king h6, queen g7 check, king takes, and then what? You know, I have the feeling there's something there, but bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, castles, knight e4. He might have knight f5, knight f6 check, king h8, and then I'm not really sure what my next move is there. Knight e4, knight f5, knight f6 check, king h8. I guess I just play like queen c3, and who knows what the hell's going on. Knight f6 check, king h8, queen c3, queen e7 check, king d2. I have like no convincing discoveries, but I have space and he's kind of like smushed. That's weird, man. This is weird. Trying to just refute it like outright. Castling queenside would be good. DST, what's up, man? Long time no see. So we're playing mostly subscribers. I think we're gonna start a subscriber stream next Tuesday. We will confirm this later in the week. It's just Monday, but I'm looking at like doing a subscribers only stream basically once a week at this time. You know, it may become more, but like next Tuesday at our usually scheduled time would be something to consider. Looking forward. Play e4. You talk about having fun. E4 very fun and good. I do play e4 Yellow Dragoon. I haven't played e4 today. I mean, this is e4. I played knight f3, but I played e4 on move 2. I play everything, but I don't know. I think I don't know like deep theory as much in e4 as I do in other lines. Although I don't really know that much theory, you know, super theoretical stuff in any openings. I've always kind of spread myself thin over like many different systems rather than specializing in like one opening. Are you watching the Menials chess tournament going on? The Menials? What's that? So I've got to play this check first. I just realized something very, very bad. I can't play this check first because king g7, his knight is covering g7. I mean, I had a really bad hallucination. So that's like a draw. Knight f6 check, king g7, knight e8 check, king g8, knight f6 check. It's a draw. I don't have a mate on g7, and that's like the fantasy that I was basically living here. So we're gonna have to play queen c3, And it's going to be a pretty bizarre situation. We can cover our knight with bishop d3, and we can castle however, you know, we feel like. I hope. Rook e8, bishop d3. If queen h4 check g3, obviously is gonna be a bad scene. So I'm gonna change plans. Gotta play bishop d3 here. Oh yeah, of course. Okay, it's a kind of bad scene. We have king f1. King f1, rook takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight g3 check, takes. That's bad. I missed this, obviously. G3, knight takes G3, H takes G3, Queen takes H1 check, and he just takes everything? No, I have King F2, and then Queen H2 check, King F3, and like Bishop G4 mates me. That's good. So, that's really good. We're gonna get mated. Oh man, this is so lame. Why don't I have any move? King F1. Yeah, I'm having a hallucination, but King F1, he's just, what am I talking about? He's got Queen takes F4. I just don't have a move here. I just don't have a move. G3. Knight takes G3. Why don't I have a move there? He offered me a draw. Alright, Bob. I'm going to accept your draw, man. I think it's a winning position for black. Just a winning position. But Bob offered a draw. A draw it is. Bob, brilliant, man. Brilliant. I overlooked Queen H4. I have to just take the draw here with Knight F6 check. I mean, this isn't a draw? Why is this not a draw? I don't understand. Oh, he goes to H6. This is a loss too. Take the draw. I have to play Queen D3, not Queen C3. And then my whole position is sort of like stupid. Okay, it's equal. So after Queen C3, I'm like lost. Yeah, I'm basically lost after Queen C3. Bishop D3, Queen H4 check. What did I hallucinate here? G3. Yeah, I guess I just didn't see this for some reason. And this is a really pretty line. Queen takes H4 check, King F2. If he doesn't have this, you know, it's actually kind of interesting, but this is really nasty. All right, Bob. A draw is a win for you. Is that all for the subscribers? We're going to move on to non-subscribers here. Any new subscribers today? Do I hear a new subscriber? Soltigo. Bob just put himself on the line with a draw to try to make it easier for some of these other players to play today. He basically sacrificed the half point so that some other people could play. I thought it was pretty generous. A generous thing. Yeah, that was interesting, Bob. I overestimated my position out of the opening, like thinking, oh, this is just going to be great for me. And then I realized, and then knight e4 was just too optimistic too. All right, Soltigo. We'll play what we usually play here. Brundlephilly said he would have lost that position. You might have lost the position, but I don't think so. I mean, there just was no move for me, you know. The best was King D1. I guess just losing my f-pawn where my king is just stuck in the center of the board with no compensation whatsoever. It's a pretty bad scene. So, but good credit goes to you, Bob, for getting winning position, man. I mean, you've played like 10 games so far. I didn't count exactly, but I don't think you came close to a winning position before. That was just a totally winning position. You basically played a nice combination, you know, to force the win. So Soltigo takes with a G pawn here. That's an aggressive move. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. E6, probably with the idea of knight f6 now. And I'm going to set up like knight d7, and we'll see. You know, I'd really like to play g6 because the open g file is going to be a problem. Yeah, queen e4, I mean, knight e4 was, everything was just flawed. I mean, I knew that f5 was going to be a problem, but I forgot that it protects g7. That was the whole point. I never would have bothered to play knight e4 if I had remembered that his knight in f5 was guarding g7. It's a pretty bad mistake. But once, you know, once I got there, there was no going back. I could have played queen d3, but I didn't realize the danger. But then it's just equal. So it shows how easy it is to like overextend in, say, a modern defense. I did force the combination on myself. That's true. I mean, that happens a lot, guys. Sometimes you lose games where basically the other guy, you feel like, damn, like, you know, he didn't have to do anything. Like, all of his moves were obvious. Well, in a sense they were, like, because if he doesn't find those moves, like, he's probably going to be worse. Yeah, all of his moves were kind of more or less forced. I mean, queen h4, I'm threatening knight f6 check, you know? I mean, he's going to lose, so he can't let me play knight f6 check. Bishop d3 I think is particularly bad here, Soltigo, because you're blocking your d-pawn, which isn't the end of the world, but I'm going to play g6 anyway, and that's going to be the structure I wanted to play in the first place. To trade, maybe trade dark square bishops if I can. This was an idea I got from a game, I think it was like Albert versus Dlugi, a US championship from like the late 80s or early 90s, where Lev Albert, he was once US champion, before he lost an embarrassing match to Nigel Short. I'll never forget that. He lost like 11-1 or something. There was like this match between the US champion and the British champion, and like, what, you know, that's embarrassing, man. I mean, to lose to Nigel Short like 11-1, it was like a whitewash. I was like embarrassed to be an American chess player. What was Albert doing? Seriously. But anyway, let's see. E4. I'm just talking about this game from the early 90s. Albert played white, and like Dlugi, I think, was black, and he just equalized with this plan. E4 is a really weird move here. White has weaknesses all over the map in this position. So I'm thinking, though, he could play like queen e2 check. I don't think I really want to allow that. So we'll change tack. Creative play, but I think flawed. Creative and flawed. So knight c5. Still, maybe this was a mistake by me. You should have played d4 probably. But still, you may have a good game. Well, it may have been a serious mistake, actually. Alright. White had a chance to play d4 last move. Maybe he should have taken it. Because now things are a little bit different. We have a trick in this position, or do we? Soltigo always comes up with the weirdest ideas. Yesterday we had the most insane game in our simul game. Every Sunday I do a simul game. Simul exhibition. Simultaneous exhibition. You saw that match. It wasn't so great. The match between Albert and Short. That's ridiculous. Like, how do you lose a match like 10-1 if you're like a champion of like one of the biggest countries in the world? That was bizarre. I mean, I know that Short was a stronger player, but still, you know, it's one thing to lose like, I don't know, 9-3 or something, but like 10-1. It's almost like you're trying to lose. D4, knight takes E4. Man, this is bizarre. This is really bizarre. He just has D4. I have to take on E4. And then like White's maybe at least equal. I mean, despite all his overextension, I think that White's okay here. It looks... Ooh, he played D3. That's crazy. I thought you could just turn me out with D4, and I'm embarrassed. I mean, like, why is my knight on C5? This queen defends the bishop on B2. That's the whole point. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, he played D3. But maybe I should play C6. A5, C6, just go back to D4. This is so silly. Alright, let's just castle. This bishop is an interesting piece. It's so weird. Some players just understand chess in a really original and unusual way, and I think that Soltigo is one of those players. He's definitely not like book trained, and that's good for some things and bad for others, you know. I mean, your creativity is very high, but not knowing a lot of like really important theoretical things is obviously a problem. So, I mean, one of the things I regret from when I was learning the game was that I've lost a lot of creativity compared to that time, you know. So knowledge actually like starts to block our creative ability. And that's what I see sometimes with certain players, like, you know, who actually play the same opening every single game. I think that's limiting, for example. And there's certain players, the way they just, their attitude, like if they don't play perfectly, they want to give up. I've seen this in some of my friends. Perfectionist type people. Knight A4. Then his only square is like, oh man, look at the dark squares here. I don't want to take this, it's like poison, but we are looking at some crazy ideas. Knight A4. The theme is, I guess, the long diagonal. We're ready for mobility and mobilization. White is not completed, you know, White has not completed their development here. But why not D4? Little penguin, that's a very important thing. Don't lose your creativity. We study books. When you do learn from books and you do get, you know, this knowledge, try not to let it blind you. Try not to make it, you know, try not to like copy it by rote, you know. Certain people play certain setups, and I'm as guilty as anybody. They just play the setup the same way over and over again, and that's where you start to play like kind of like a robot, you know. I use the London system as an example. This opening D4, knight F3, bishop F4. People tend to play this kind of opening very robotically, and that's not good for your game. I mean, too much creativity has certainly hurt me in the past too. Stock Trader 101. Sounds like a different program. Alright, it looks like, I don't know, bishop E5. And I was just gonna challenge it. Yeah. Now we have a nice choice between rook b8 and... I've got to always like check twice just to make sure, because Soltigo comes up with some really bizarre ideas. But okay, now I guess in this question, first question we ask ourselves is like, can you trap my knight on b2 or something strange? No, I mean, I could certainly just take on b2 there. I think that was strong. Maybe like just devastating. But, you know, he's pretty much toast no matter what here. Dark square devastation. Okay, knight d5, man, that is lights out. Wow. Knight d5, ooh, that hurts. Just like everything goes. No development. The like rook on a1, the b4 square, a fork here. Bishop is hanging. Soltigo got carried away. Make sure that your game is adhering to principles. But I want to look at the opening before we start the next game, because I think if he had played d4, he might even be better, like not just equal. He played d3, and he actually had d4 for 2 moves. Took thousands of years. Yeah, so I'm not going to take the rook right away. We're going to take here first. Threatening to win like a clear piece. And the d3 pawn. It's just over. Okay, so quickly, crazy opening. You know, you're not going to see too many people take back with a g pawn here. Okay, actually there are quite a few games. It's more common to take with the e pawn. So okay, g takes. It's reasonable. Wojtaszek played a game against Rajabov there. Dynamic. So we got e3, knight f6, and then he played c4, which is okay. Fatachnik actually played this with white. Not really a nice guy. Popchev. But c4 is not the only move. f4. Yeah, c4 is good though. I like c4. So I played here what? Knight bd7. That's Grandmaster Kala Gabor. He's extremely solid. Has a game here where he beat a solid IM in 98. Bishop d3. I didn't like this move, Soltigo. This is where you started to go wrong. You could actually play f4 and bishop g2 and do like a double fianchetto. Martin Labolita and Borochisvan are both decent players. They both play knight c3. The bishop d3 was weird. It's also undefended along the d file. I think that's a little strange. And then e4 is just the anti-positional move that weakens a lot of dark squares. So taking here wasn't my best. I played now what? Knight c5 and now queen e2. But can't you play d4 here? Okay, you just lose a pawn. But I thought you'd have some compensation. Maybe not. I guess not. Okay. But anyway, next move. In any case, next move, you could have played d4 in this position. And so the question is, what's going on here? I was looking at this and I got a little bit like confused. I didn't even know what's happening here in this position. Bishop takes b2, queen takes b2, queen f6 with a better ending for black. Okay, maybe. Anyway, guys, let's move on. I think that's all of our subscribers. Waiting for a new subscriber here. Ace. We're not going to play these games, guys. We have time for just like 2 or 3 more games. 3 more games. We're going to try... Oh, Yava's alcoholic. Catalea on Lee Chess. Is that you? Yava is alcoholic? Somebody challenged me yesterday, really late, for me at least, Catalea, and I was just like leaving when they challenged me, so I didn't accept. If I had free time, I would play. I would definitely play. Mahmoud, we've not played before. You're like a different Mahmoud. Mahmoud, is this the same Mahmoud? Or are you like a different Mahmoud? Because there was another Mahmoud we just played the other day. Did you like create a new account or something? Are you the same dude who played me on another account? I'll just keep repeating the same question over and over again. Justice or Dictator? Is Mahmoud here? He's got actually 50 rated games, so I feel like I said 50, he's got like 50, so we'll play him. 50 if you add them together. But there's another Mahmoud I played. His other account was banned for cheating. But how do you know that, Brundlephil? Did he say that? Or like you did like research? Click the link. Oh. What? But that's the same exact name. Okay. This guy is from UAE. I mean, obviously there's probably more than one Mahmoud. But it is kind of suspicious. Why would one be from UAE and the other one from Iran? He doesn't seem to be moving here. It's on his profile. Oh. What do you mean, like this profile? Let me see. No, I don't know, man. I'm not sure this is the same person. No, it's a middle dash now. So you like change countries? He said he's from Iran, but the other account said UAE. Whatever, alright. Yeah, it looks suspicious. Something strange about that. Okay, guys, the next stream will be I'm thinking about doing a stream next week for subscribers. Maybe I should start it tomorrow. I have to check my schedule though. Check the old schedule and what's up with tomorrow. Oh, it's a rated game. Oh, well then I'm almost certainly gonna lose. Okay. Did anybody warn me it was a rated game? You guys probably warned me like hours ago, but I was like busy playing. Yeah, we should do a stream tomorrow just for subscribers. 4 p.m. That sounds good. It's really weird. I have like a note that I was... Why do I have a note that there's a dentist appointment today? I think I made a mistake in my schedule book. I wrote dentist instead of doing my stream today. This is much better than going to the dentist. Yeah. How many games has Mahmoud played? Well, he doesn't want to have another account banned, right? So hopefully he won't cheat. I have to tone Mubot down a bit. Excessive use of symbols. This is just to prevent people from from trolling, but sometimes it gets the innocent bystander. You play c5, but d5 is best by engines. What, this position? Like, this is not like a standard position, really. I mean, e5 in this position, is that playable? I've never seen anyone do that in my life. You guys talking about something else? That almost looks like you could theoretically do it, but it would be like a good... It looks like it would be a very good... No, actually, he played c5. I castled. I'm supposed to play d5, I think, here. I was just kind of like on autopilot, transposing to the main line. I mean, come to think of it, I'm supposed to play d5, and then pawn takes pawn, knight h4, probably, with advantage to white. So, I'm not sure like what happens if I do like d5 and he plays b5 though. Maybe he can play. I mean, he's like a tempo down in a Blumenfeld there. That's probably no good. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that c5 is just a bad move. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do a stream tomorrow, but just for the subscribers. I think I might do it so that I enable chat just for subscribers, but then that's probably not necessary. You know, it can just be like only playing against subscribers. Everybody can chat, but we'll just play against subscribers, analyze their games, whatever they want to do. Alright, sorry, we're lagging behind here. I decided to play a real simple variation. He's taking too long. It's kind of weird, his time usage, I agree. Bishop c5 is a strange move. Actually, no. I mean, bishop c5, it's a little strange. I mean, typically you want to go to like e7 here. But it's probably not such a bad move, actually. It could be a target. He blocks his own play along the c file to some degree. But I guess it's not really that bad. Where do we go? Like bishop f4, bishop e3. This feels a little passive for me. What's a rated game? Yeah. Keep forgetting it's a rated game. Mahmoud's gonna like whip the computer on me. Then I'll have to like report him for being a computer. Go through all that again. Really sad. Here I actually have to be a little bit careful. Probably best not to play something like e4. Just weaken my structure. No, okay, ZH. You're back, but I still don't get all this talk of subscribing. I subscribe on YouTube, and I follow on Twitch. Subscribing, you can subscribe here on Twitch. It's like a voluntary subscription. You get some extra benefits. Like tomorrow, for example, I'm going to start a stream just for the subscribers. So that's the point. Yeah, this guy he took all this weird time and now he's like gonna play perfectly. Probably I should think about moving my bishop again. He's threatening knight e5, which is really nasty here. No commentary. I just hope I don't lose. Rook c4. Rook c4 definitely took me by surprise. He loses a pawn and then plays this move, bishop f6. Rook c4, check it out, and bishop f6. Yeah. Okay, dude. He didn't want to challenge rated. It was my mistake. Sorry. Now he plays rook c4 followed by bishop f6. Should I just resign now, or should I continue? I guess objectively it's like a draw. Yeah. Now I'm just like equal. Rook e8. Why wouldn't you take the pawn on b2? It's kind of weird. Yeah, this game is just super weird. Putting your bishop between your queen and a bishop. What? Put your bishop there. Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously that's possible, but it didn't work very well. It just wasn't great. Anyway, guys, we're still gonna play like 2 more games after this, whatever happens. But if you do use a computer, it's best to try and like not, you know, let people know you're using one. So making obvious mistakes is a kind of important principle. But I wouldn't target this game as like typical of like a computer cheater. I wouldn't say Mahmoud is playing like the typical computer user. Kind of weird. The combination with rook c4 was just like totally random. Now you should draw easily here. Maybe not so easily. I could have some chances in this ending. My pawn structures. Okay, g5 was a bad move. Rook d8 there gave him real chances to draw. I think it's Lichess policy that if you're banned to not make another account. Yeah, I agree. But he says he's from a different country. I guess it's hard to prove. Then make your name like the exact same. So he got g5, then he played this move. That's actually pretty interesting. But his pawn is hanging there. So bishop takes a7, rook a2. And I play something like bishop e7, bishop c5, and a4 when I'm a pawn up. But he'll probably draw with perfect technique. The rated games we don't play here. Obviously I'm handicapped, and it's usually a computer user who challenges me to rated games. That was the last one. I still didn't get refunded my rating points. I lost 50 points to a guy who decided to cheat against me. And I still, after requesting from Lee Chess, still didn't get my points back. I guess the points were lost in the mail or something. Interesting defense. Rook d8. Is he going to play like rook a8, a5 now? Actually, his b5 pawn will be the issue there. So he took. I think that's a good decision. With a very, very technical endgame. Fixing his pawns on the wrong color on the king's side. You're going to need to transfer the king over. Actually, king up here with penetration on the 7th with my rook could be pretty powerful too. This should be the easiest way to win a rook exchange here. And queen to b pawn. So it's game over. But a really weird game. I mean, the rook c4 move, like, who makes that combination? That was just so weird. I think we should look at that position just to, out of curiosity. Was rook c4 the best move for black there? It's really crazy. Like, look at this position where he decides to like sacrifice, you know, apparently like sacrifice a rook. Check it out. This is engine #1 move, dude. I mean, now it's like dropping to a tie with rook takes c1. But I mean, you know what I mean? The human doesn't play that move, dude. I mean, there's just no way. It's just not happening. Rook c4. At the end of the day, it looks like it was like second, according to Stockfish. But I mean, this idea of rook c4, rook takes c4, and bishop f6, in such a simple position, looking for combinations like that, it's really weird. And now he decides not to take the pawn after queen here, d takes c4, queen takes c4. For some reason, he just randomly doesn't take this pawn on b2, which was like the entire point of the whole combination. You know, so something doesn't add up. Something's just not right. You know, if it smells weird, it probably is like not safe to eat it. You know, I mean, it's something like that. You know, something strange going on with that game. So anyway. Nefedov, fortunately I didn't lose 50 rating points. Nefedov is up. Nefedov drew me in a weird game in the simul yesterday. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling I get, Blue Crow. But I won, man. He took it easy on me. He took it easy on me. Yeah, but rook c4 is an engine move, if I've ever seen one. I think that some people like who use engines, they'll like purposely play the second best move every time. He wasn't doing that. You know, Mahmoud wasn't doing that, obviously, but you notice sometimes I've noticed people who do that. It's really funny. Actually, rook c4 would be the second best move. So that's a typical way like some people cheat. Like, they don't make the best move. If you play the entire game always playing the second best move, you'd have to make exceptions when there are forced moves. I mean, you know, so you'd have to really be careful, you know, how you did it. But you could beat like anybody in the world. Like, with a strong engine, I'm sure that Magnus Carlsen would be easy to beat. Like, even if you just made the second best move every time, it wouldn't even take the best move. You know, the second best move would be enough to take out, you know, the world champion. Yellow Dragoon, do you know when I'm up, man? You're close, but no cigar, dude. You're probably up. If you subscribe, you're up tomorrow. If you don't subscribe, then you're up Wednesday. That would be my guess. We had a lot of challenges today, guys. I'm sorry to anybody who doesn't get to play. I'm transposing to Classical Dragon. Oh no, Nefedov. It's unrated. I'll give you the win if you want, but I did a pre-move. I'm guilty as charged. Guilty as charged, but you know, you probably want to play the game. I had a funny guy who he lost every single game to me. We won't mention any names, but it wasn't really a pre-move Nefedov. I've done this before. I kind of thought it was my turn, and so I actually tried to move twice because I was talking and not really paying attention. But there was this one guy who lost to me like 25 times, and he wasn't very nice actually, one of the viewers. And he lost every single game. He was one of the weakest players in the stream. And this one time, like I did the same thing. I like tried to move twice in a row or something, and pre-moved my queen into like hanging it or something. And he like literally wouldn't let me take it back in an unrated game and claim the win. It was kind of like, well, that's really the point here, you know. If it was a rated game, I would just resign. You know, if it was like in a tournament on Lead Chess, I won't even like ask for a take back. You know, I mean, I just resign. But it's ridiculous when it's like an unrated game. You know, and it's obviously a mouse slip or some kind of thing. But this guy just wanted that 1 point. He had like 24 zeros in a row, and he just wanted to get the point. Gary knows all about anti-engine play. Would be his coach again. Well, Gary, with the match against Deep Blue, you know, he started to play really anti-computer chess. Okay, guys, let's focus on the game a little bit here. So I was getting a little bit confused, and I played this semi-pre-move. On another note, you know, just out of point of reference, Nefedov almost took on c6. He wanted to take on c6, but I mean, some people play bishop d7. I think that's actually a better move order when white plays like g3 instead of bishop e2. But f3. Okay, Nefedov played f3. This is like playing a kind of Yugoslav attack with your bishop on e2, or a classical dragon with your pawn on f3 instead of f2. It's not really a good combination. If you're going to play a really aggressive system with castling queenside, then the bishop might as well just remain on f1. If you want to play a classical dragon, then it's better to, you know, just play without f3. So we do see this from time to time. And, well, here I could play knight takes d4. It kind of wins a tempo. I guess that makes the most sense in this position. If he's going to play dragon style, then we basically play a tempo up on some kind of dragon line. Not necessarily my only option, but he's wasted a move in a sense. Moving bishop e3. Hasn't he wasted a move? Why am I saying he wasted a move? He actually hasn't wasted a move. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting kind of loopy here toward the end of the stream. I think we're transposing to theory, come to think of it. My friend Salansi Emil lost this line, but the white bishop wasn't on e2. The white bishop should be on c4 in this position. Right. But I'm just thinking, he had a game against Anita Gara, or no, Tisha Gara, who is like a women's, was an IM. Bishop on f1, or was the bishop on c4? I can't remember. I don't know, guys. Alright, we'll just play like normal moves here. I'm just thinking, would this be a theoretical position? g4 right away. This bishop on e2 wouldn't be on f1 in the Gara game. I think even bishop h3 was an issue later on. So that's good. H5. Is it worth it to play H5? White isn't castling, which is interesting. The white, it's hard for me to attack the white king here. Should I play H5 or not? I guess this is the safest approach. Thanks, Blue Crow. Yeah. Yeah, this guy was just really grumpy, and he was always kind of grumpy. If anybody said anything, he was very hypersensitive, and I don't know, you know. But fortunately, some people just are that way. But he was so happy to like get that win based on a take back that he wouldn't give me. I mean, it was just silly. Anyway, we're taking on H5, and I guess taking back with the king on G7. We're going to try to get some play as fast as possible on the other side of the board. Maybe rook AC8 and the other rook to H8. White's play F4 is natural. He's threatening F5, which is actually pretty irritating. F5 is going to hit my bishop. I don't really want to retreat it. I have knight G3 here. Is he going to put his rook on G1? Knight takes E2. And then how does he take back? And then my king is kind of messed up with this threat of different sort of threats. The other possibility is to play rook C8 here. I don't know which is better. I've got to watch out for queen D4 check. You know, something like rook C8 followed by F5, bishop C4, queen D4 check, and I'm gonna like lose material. So this is a bit weird. Where's my bishop gonna go at the end of the day? I'd love to like sack the exchange even, but I don't have time. Problem is F5. F5 just extremely disruptive in this position. Knight G3, rook G1. Knight takes E2. Queen takes E2. And I don't know what to do next. He's threatening F5 again. At least that would stop queen D4 check, but he's threatening F5 again. Then rook C8, H5, bishop C4. I have rook takes C3 there. I don't know what else to do. By the way, before I go, have you seen Magnus versus the World game? No, it's what? It's him versus 3 GMs using a top engine to find the best moves. It ended in a draw. That's crazy. But it's him versus 3 GMs using a top engine. That's kind of overkill, isn't it? I mean, it might as well just like be him against 3 engines. I mean, him against the top engine, because those 3 GMs, I mean, I don't think they even matter in that situation. They're going to mostly default to what the computer says, and if they deviate, it's probably a mistake. But it's impressive that Magnus would draw against an engine. I mean, he is the best player in the world. But they're getting really ridiculously strong. Okay, Magnus versus Komodo. Guys, we have time for one more game after this. I'm sorry I can't play everybody. If this player has 50 games, he does. So please subscribe. If you don't know what subscribing means, you support the stream every month for a small fee and get some extra bonuses, like you get to play first if I have a stream. I'm going to create videos probably on YouTube, especially like featuring subscribers games. Like this week, we're going to do a YouTube video about some of the simul games I played against subscribers. Tomorrow, I'm going to create a subscriber-only stream. So that'll be the next stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. Not usually on the schedule, but I'm going to do once a week at this time, a special subscriber stream. So I'm usually doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week, with tomorrow being just a special stream for subscribers. Everyone is welcome to watch. I'm only going to play against the subscribers, maybe analyze some of their games. If you guys are subscribers and you want to participate tomorrow, this actually was a good suggestion of Little Penguin to look at one of your games. If you want to do that, you want to show us one of your games, that would be awesome. We could go over it together. Sounds like a good idea to me. Now, what is Nefedov doing here? I guess we might as well just take this. Ask questions later. My knight's just kind of hanging out there on g3, unprotected. It looks like we've got the better structure. A little bit of development, connected rooks. I'd like to do an exchange sacrifice on c3. That's probably not happening. He has no great recapture. I mean, knight takes. Is he going to do that, really? Trading queens? I would have the better endgame. And rook takes leaves his h-pawn weak. So we've got queen takes. Now h5, I was looking at this position a minute ago. Although rook h2 was played, and I'm not sure what that really does. Rook h8 is possible, but then f5. It's a really disruptive move. So I think I have to play like rook c8 to enable... basically enable not only this exchange sacrifice, but the possibility of playing bishop c4. It looks like rook takes c3 as a threat here. And castling queenside. It may be a good positional sacrifice for me. It's just kind of long term. You want to show your improvement. You guys are welcome. You're welcome to share your games if you're subscribers. Tomorrow, I have no money. Join the club, man. I have no money too. If you have no money, I subscribe. I suggest starting your own chess stream. No, that's not the way to go. If you have no money, what do I suggest? Go to like garage sales, buy books for like $1, and then resell them on eBay for a profit. Rook on a to c8. Depends on where you live, I guess. Okay, rook d1. That's a sensible developing move, but it doesn't really do anything per se. So the question is, this exchange sacrifice as a positional sacrifice looks pretty good. I would imagine I have good comp for the exchange in this position, but can we? All right, let's go ahead and do it. I mean, do I need to do it? That's the other thing. Can I wait a move, maybe? Like rook h8 and improve my position. Alright, rook h8, f5, bishop c4. See, I could actually take on a2 here. I mean, this looks greedy, but... hell, man, maybe that's the best move. Just snapping a pawn. There is this move, h5. But if f5, bishop takes a2... that feels a bit materialistic. Probably I should do rook takes c3 in that position. Alright. We've got a lot of options. All of our pieces are in the game. We've got bishop takes a2. We've got rook takes c3. We've got pressure on the h file. If f5, I was thinking of doing rook takes c3 into in-between move. And then we'll be able to play like b takes c3, queen takes c3, and pick up another pawn. Maybe on a2 later on, when we should have good compensation for the exchange. But it's not forced. I mean, I guess I could play bishop c4 in this position as well. It looks like white's just slightly worse. He should probably be able to hold on here. So there's this move as well. Bishop takes a2. Just winning a pawn. I mean, it's just a kind of matter of move order. White's not actually threatening anything. The only thing I'm concerned about is that if I do bishop takes a2, maybe he can guard the knight, you know, from exchange sacrifices. So rook takes c3 right away. Queen takes c3, queen. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. We're threatening the ultra nasty rook e3. I'm guessing he's going to try to trade queens here. With queen d2, queen g3 check. White would probably content themselves with a draw here, but he did not do that. He played king f2. That might well be a better move. I don't know. I've got queen e5 at some point. Should I just eat another pawn, you know, instead of attacking his queen? Why not, right? I really see no reason not to take this pawn. I mean, the a pawn is basically a winning pawn here, and I thought I have queen here. Queen e5, a good central location. And I don't mind trading queens, dude. You see, that's a key factor here. Takes b5 with a really strong ending for black, I would think. We have two pawns for the exchange, a really meaty a pawn. Yeah, that's actually the move. He took that. I don't want to give him a passed pawn. He's actually holding on here, it looks like. Where to go? Like b3? Maybe b3 is best. No, bishop c4. Okay. And now we've got to be careful. If rook a2 wasn't possible. I was looking at rook a2. Seriously, that's a good idea. I'm about to lose on time. Not the best move, a4. Maybe I should play something more flexible. Black is better here. I'm not sure I'm winning, but it's really promising for black. Kind of a classic exchange sacrifice in the dragon. Okay, guys, I promised one more game, so we're gonna play this last game. Someone said, why don't play e4? I guess I didn't play e4 all day. Was there a free rook? We all just sacked our king for a rook. We have a new subscription. We have to stay for a new game. Oh, Parmenides. Parmenides. That's awesome. Parmenides won. But he's not talking in the stream, I guess. He just subscribed. I don't see Parmenides talking in the stream, but he did subscribe. Thank you for that. So we're going to play one more game anyway. I was going to play one more game anyway. I don't know if this is probably not him, though. I mean, the chances of that are pretty small. 5+3, blitz. Karu Khan. When we traded queens, everyone on the stream thought your opponent blundered a rook. But the queen was pinned to the king. Okay. At least I know better. I played this the other day, this gambit line against... what's his name? Lord Jesus Christ. He played the same move. Bishop takes e4. Does everybody know that? It's like the safe way for black to play, but not really considered the best. I mean, he should take the pawn. A pawn is a pawn. Boleslavsky Gambit or whatever, Bondarevsky. I don't remember. I always get these guys confused. Boleslavsky and Bondarevsky. Here I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this position. It's a little weird. Queen e2 maybe? That looks strange, doesn't it? Strange idea to play Queen e2. Something about the bishop on f3 and this file being open, and I want to stop him from playing e5. Obviously our knight is sort of a question. Sort of a question. f4 into the center. Oh, it's, yes, I understand now. Okay. Rated. Yeah, we're supposed to play unrated games here on the stream. Just so you guys know. 1773, he's got 226 and 121. E5 is an interesting move. Really interesting move. It's like equalizing. Just your typical everyday move. Lucky he doesn't win a piece here. He's 1600 and 1700. Hopefully I won't lose. That's all I can hope for. Whenever anybody challenges me to a rated game, it's just like guaranteed that they play like 1,000 points better than their rating. But I wasn't aware that it was rated as usual. That's the other thing, you like catch me off guard when you do that, because I'm not expecting the games to be rated. Okay. But he's not only good, he's fast too. Even a draw is like a 15-point loss. Just, I need you to tell me that. Thank you, Mo Skinner. The e5 move was really incisive. Like he knew all about that idea. All right. Well, I think that the truth of this position is that it's equal. Should I play bishop g5? Let's just wait and see. I mean, I don't have to move this bishop. I talk about this a lot in my stream and in my lessons. That piece doesn't have to be developed, but this guy is playing like too good for 1700 probably. Yeah, it's a rated game. He's playing like perfectly. I'm lucky if I don't lose. Knight d7 is a really nice move. Bishop f4. Now I'm actually in trouble. If he plays perfectly, he'll probably beat me. Yeah, b4 is a good move. Probably not the best, but scary as hell. Maybe it's the best if you had a really deep engine. I mean, this is like a really long-term pawn sacrifice. I thought just simply knight b6 is a good move for black here. You know, that's like no doubt about it. This is more speculative, but it's possible you could calculate this, you know, very far to being good for black, but feels like kind of speculative. Probably I should be okay here somehow. But I have to be very, very careful. Queen h4. Yeah, this guy is totally suspicious. Um, 1773. He plays like Morphe. I have no idea. I mean, White could be worse here. He could be better. It's hard to play this position for me. It feels like I'm about to get mated. On the verge of getting mated. Plus he's very fast too. Dude, there's no way you'd be 1600 in bullet. Play like this style, you know. The dynamic gambitier. Another pawn? To break up my pawn? Seriously? This is ridiculous. Okay, this is a bad move actually. If he's got an engine going, I'm a dead man. Probably I should just take the pawn there. Anyway, it's always nice to end the stream with a suspicious game. But I stayed extra long for this game. Somebody has to warn me about the challenges that are rated. We're just asleep, man. A6 doesn't look like an engine move. Dude, it's knocking me off of B2, you know, which will like destroy my whole structure. But if it's not an engine move, it's just like a 2400 move. It's not your everyday move. I'm just getting like worked over. Look at this. This guy is just totally cheating. Well, we'll report him. I don't know what to do. But it's just taking me apart. I could just resign here. I mean, if he was like 2300, I could believe it, you know, but people aren't 1700 and just like rip you apart like they're, you know, a GM. I just don't know why, you know, anybody would want to cheat against a chess streamer. Okay, I was gonna say an unrated game, but this is a look at this move, rook e3. That's a weird move. I could play like queen d5 here. Bishop d5. Wait, I can play queen d4. That drops a piece, right? I mean, his time usage, his style of play, everything. The fact that he challenged me to a rated game. I may be able to draw. I'm not even sure if this is a good move or a bad move. F4. But it's a really weak pawn. It's actually a really bad move. It's probably like the losing move. Oh man, whatever. Okay, then he's probably not a computer if he played h5 there. But he's damn good, like whoever he is. I mean, h5 wouldn't be the choice of an engine in that position. Probably he has a better move there. Yeah, this move was what he should have played before. Now what, like rook g5 or something? Look how fast he is. I'll just have to report him. I don't know. Hope that he gets busted. But I don't think I can report him. It's just too many random moves in this game. Maybe it's just a friend, you know? It's like he's not a computer. He's just the guy's buddy who's like 2500 or something. It's not actually an engine. Like Sheppy was saying, it doesn't play. It wasn't an engine move. What am I, 2 pawns down here for nothing? What's that about? It's like 1700. Come on. It's a strong human. Not a computer. Whatever, it's not a 1700. So it's just... Alright. Just report them as whatever. This is like basically played like, we'll say like 2300 strength and rated game. I don't know, dude, but it's you know, it could be an engine, maybe not, but it's definitely not what it's supposed to be, which is like a 1700. Anyway, guys, supposed to be stream tomorrow. It's gonna be Tuesday, and we'll play, I guess, mostly just against subscribers. So if you guys that are subscribers want to play, let's see, we can play like some blitz games or analyze games, whatever you guys want to do. We can kind of be flexible and cater to what the subscribers want to do tomorrow, 4 p.m. Stream here on Lead Chess and Twitch. International Master William Paschall. Again, guys, 4 p.m. subscriber stream tomorrow. I will see you guys then. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to what's his name? Oh yeah, Plucro. Thank you for being here, Plucro. Plucro, I don't know if you can make it tomorrow, but you're a subscriber too. So we need a subscriber. We need a subscriber moderator to. Yeah, even with occasional cheaters. Thank you. Yeah, there's not much I can do about it. You know, hopefully I'll get my rating points back, but maybe not. We'll see, guys. Little Penguin, thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.